what's the work that most upsets you? Like, have you ever done anything that you just spent months on and then it didn't even make it into the movie, or something where you spent a ton? Like The Mummy story was great because your attention to detail paid off in the movie. Did you ever do something that was super elaborate, super complicated, super detailed, and then on screen it's like you see it for half a second?
The show that I worked on, that I was kind of angry when it was over with. I'm not going to say angry, I was kind of disappointed. I was on Fifth Element, and that was 7 months of my life. And we were on a show with a team of them, tons of miniature makers and visual effects guys, and we were all like, great team of people, great morale, bunch of great guys, and we all working together. But that show was so overbuilt, ridiculous. There was these shots in the film that are so fast, like shots of New York City. Okay, you see that shot where Lilu walks on the edge of the building. There's all this traffic, and she looks out. It's the first time you see New York. Those buildings are not digital. Those are all models.
That's all practical?
Those are all practical. Those buildings, the tallest one's 20 feet tall.
Wow.
And there's that, you see that bridge in the background, like there's a big catwalk and a bridge.
Sure.
And that's all miniatures, and it's tons of miniatures, and cars flying by. Some of them are miniatures and some are digital, but the movement and the big train that came by, it's all miniatures. Everything's miniature. So we build this stuff. And there's a parking garage across the street, and there's cars in the parking garage that they made us build. And true story, I was in charge of making these. I made a couple of these restaurants. There was like things that went, because in the world they're in, Fifth Element, there's all different cars and different levels of traffic, and so all its philosophy went into how the city was going to. So we built traffic lights that come out on the building, and there's different levels of traffic lights because there's different levels of traffic. So we had these cars here, and you had the midsection car. So we built these little traffic lights that had different arrows, green arrow for up, green arrow for down, and they lit up and blinked. And we built these, and how many traffic signals do you see in front of
I don't recall a single one.
But my point being was, that's the level of detail. And this is a double-edged sword. I understand if you compromise on detail, it's going to show. If you crap something out and you don't put the detail into it, even though it's on the screen for a couple of seconds, your subconscious catches it. We did so much of it. It was so exhausting. It wasn't just me. It was a team of people. We all worked crazy hours. And to get back to these restaurants I was doing, so I was building, true story, we had these buildings, little miniature buildings and stuff, and they're fake restaurants. So I went to trouble making little fake tables, and I was grabbing stuff out of the magazines. I found a nice paper pattern, and I used it as wallpaper inside this restaurant. I just made stuff up, and I would take little pictures of things and like make it look like portraits on the wall, and just take things out of magazines, inclusions, just to give it some texture. Because it's the background of a background. It's the background of a background, right? So you put it up, and then the art director comes through, and he's walking, he's looking, he's like, you know, Ted, can we change? I want to change the wallpaper in that restaurant.
What? Are you serious?
True story. I'm like, I had to get on a ladder, go back up, and I did it. But I did grump. And I had it mounted. It was up, and it had lights in it, and everything. I had to pull it back down and redo it. Put it back up. Because they had time and money. They had time and money. It was ridiculous.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
Interesting.